Tumagasang baha sa bahaging maisang ito.
Take full responsibility.
Siraan niyo ako!
If you turn on your TV, will follow the news, you might feel the world is getting worse, but is this actually what is happening? Today, with the rise of new media outlets, we now have the ability to set our own perceptions in society. But with this selective exposure causing different kinds of problems, everything that is happening right now is a phenomenon of economic of interest. People multitask their work, like surfing in the internet, while listening to music or radio. However, there are times that some media like printed newspapers have different headlines or news, and buying other newspapers can be costly and availability is also an issue. As a result, we look for a primary source of information. Others transition to new media, like they use gadgets and other technologies with internet to explore everything. Right now, we are in pandemic. We use new media like video communication service developed by Google. We call it Google Meet to connect to our instructors. Facebook Messenger, Skype, Google Classroom, and other social media platforms. At the end of the day, traditional media is not dead and still plays an important role in a healthy media mix. By utilizing all forms of traditional and digital channels is the foundation of a successful media plan. Media plays an important role in every way of life. It connects us with the scenarios in the world and informs us many things like news, history, entertainment, and etc. Media helps bring truth, fact, and information of the world in front of our eyes.
Hi, good afternoon. I am Richie, and today let's talk about media and globalization. Media and its function. Lul described that media as a mean of conveying something, such as channel of communication. So, according to Jack Lowry, described that a media is a mean of conveying something. So, ginagamit siya para to know something, to inform, and, such as a channel of communication. Medium is technically speaking person's voice. However, when commentators refers to media, they mean the technology of mass communication. So, ang media is the mean sa commentator is kanang technology of mass communication. Print media includes magazines, books, and newspaper. So, di ba? Kini mao na siya mga example sa mass communication. Kining magazine kay mga magazine, books and newspapers kay dira man ta makakuha og information, makahibalo sa mga something nga say tabo sa tong palibot. And sa broadcast media sad involves radio, televisions, and films. Sa broadcast media sa mga radyo, di ba naman ay mga news diha, di ba sa TV sad may mga news TV Patrol, Bumi Patroras, di ba? Kakakuan man ito mga siya example sa mass communication. Digital media cover the internet and mobile mass communication. So, sa digital side, sa internet side, nasa tayo mga mass communication dia. Within categories of internet media, there are such as email, internet sites, social media, and internet-based video and audio. So, sa mga email na to, sa mga internet sites, social media, dira sad ta makakuha og information para makaistorya sa mga to reach out people na gusto yung istorya. Masa na mga examples of mass communications, mga means. Media theorist Marshall McLuhan declared that the medium is the message. He did not mean that the message are useless and do not affect people. Rather, his statement was an attempt to draw attention to how media as a form of technology reshapes societies. Yung ipasabot rin nga, form of technology, how to reshape our societies. New media may extend the reach of communication, but it also dulls the user communicative capacities. No? Atong new media is for nagkakuha na gani, nagka-convenient na gani tungod sa atong mga ginagamit, pero kuan siya, murag pros and cons ba, kanang makakuan sa mga makadal sa mga users memory gani, ilang capacity sa paghinumdum kay ilan namang gikuan, di naman na i-memory si murag isulat ay nana ba. Example, in medium of writing, people before wrote things down on parchment and exchanging stories was mainly done orally. So sa una daw mga mga tao sa una may exchange like stories done orally na sa una din. So storytellers must be retentive memories of past stories. So kinahanglan ng storytellers no is kanang ito pang nakuna silang panini ito kan sa memory ganito as stories one person to another. However, papyrus has become popular in Egypt after the 4th century BCE, in which more people can write down the story. As a result of storytellers no longer had rely completely on their memories. So during 4th century BCE, in which more people kanang kasagaran sa mga tao na sa 4th century BCE is kanang nakuha na sila ba kanang ang ilahang pag storytelling gani is ginasulat na nila para dili na sila mag-rely sa memories sa ilang hinumdum sa storyteller. According to some philosopher that this development dulled the people of capacity to remember. So kaning pamaagi daw is nakadal sa people capacity to remember no kailan mo sulat. So like cell phone, it expands people's sense because they provide the capability to talk more people instantaneously and simultaneously. So para sa atong cellphone nga dali ra kay ta makagamit simultaneously and instantaneously kanang dali ra kayo at the same time simultaneously mo na naka-convenient sa gamit sa atong cellphone gani. As a result, it limit the sense of because it can make user easily distractible and prone to multitasking. So mo na siya so as a result mura tayo ang mga user is distractibly and prone gani sa pag multitask gani kay because convenient good kayo. So this is not necessarily a bad thing, it is merely change within trade-off. So dili kay ni siya kanang pati sa ato pero it is merely change with trade-off. Murag naay kanang kapalit gani sa atong pagka-convenient sa atong paggamit sa media. So mo to ang media. So akong ihatag ni Jake for further discussion about globalization. Thank you.
Gangnam Style.
Do you hear about the song Gangnam Style? South Korean rapper Peace by Songs, Gangnam Style may have been about a world sober and Seoul, but its listeners included millions who may never have been or may never go to Gangnam. Some of them may never not know what Gangnam is.
Dig in Minecraft style. Minecraft style. Dig.
Globalization entails the spread of various culture. When a film is made in Hollywood, it is not only shown in the United States, but also in other cities across the globe. The word is very intense. Okay, so we're going to talk about the global village and the cultural imperialism. So let's go.
So we are now here. The first topic that we will discuss is about the global village and the cultural imperialism. According to this, McLuhan uses analysis of technology to examine the impact of electronic media. So kani si McLuhan, muna siya nag-study sa impact sa electronic media sa atoa. And at the same time, kani si McLuhan nag-start na siya o kanang study ni write sa iyang analysis by the year 1960s. So he declared that television was turning the world into a global village. He meant that more people engage in television, perceptions of the world would contract. If village sat down in front of fires to listen to collective stories, new global village will sit in front of bright boxes in their living rooms. So kung sa una, ang kasagaran sa mga tao, usually mga tribes is kung na mga stories or na mga gatherings, they usually sit down in their fires and share stories like face to face, so siya ba ng conversation, verbal conversation is yan, wherein they band together in one area where they share their thoughts or their stories. Whereby now new global village is using now the technologies to interconnect with others. Like we say, global village is about a single community. Like in technologies like televisions, we are interconnecting with the televisions. So, muna yung gipapasabot sa ng global village. So, here is the if cultural globalization merely entails the spread of Western monoculture. What explains the prevalence of regional cultural trends? So, ka ng mga tao mag-watch sa mga movies, usually mga American films or yung mga songs, they believe that it can create a cultural imperialism, which American hegemonized to create also a cultural imperialism. So, here we'll explain the prevalence of regional cultural trends. So, for example, ang sikat sa mga sikat dito sa Philippines ng mga teleserye is The Promise or Pangako sa Iyo.
Lahat kayo! Matitikman ninyo ang batas ng alipin!
Which is aired in year 2000-2002 and hit in Singapore and Malaysia. Two stars become household names and entertain Cambodian TV even purchased the rights to produce its own version of the show. So kani siya, pwede sa niya mag-watch sa like mga country at pwede sa niya sa naka-create siya o spread sa kung usay culture na to dere, pwede sa siya ma-share sa laing ubang mga country. And at the same time, ang ubang country pwede sa nila ma-share sa ato like what it says that the global village can create a cultural imperialism. So like for example, of this is another one is the Be Careful With My Heart nga sa mga movie dito sa mga teleserye dito sa Philippines which is sikat sa niya sa ubang part sa Southeast Asia that's being aired. So it doesn't mean nga movie nga create dito sa Philippines is dito na siya pwede matanaw sa mga tao. It can be seen or it can be aired also in other countries like changing mga movies balera na there commentators believe that media globalization coupled with American hegemony will create a form of cultural imperialism. So maniya kung gingon ninyo whereby American values and cultures would overwhelm all others. So kani si Herbert Schiller in 1976, a media critic, argued that not only was the world Americanized, but this process led the spread of American capitalist value like consumerism. Si John Tomlinson said, cultural globalization is simply euphemism for Western cultural imperialism since it promotes homogenized, westernized consumer culture. So muna sa iingon today, ay lang means nga others countries, not only American, because before ang American medyo kusog, but karon we can say that other countries are also, it depends on kung ano man sa kirang people or persons kung sa ilang ganahan sa kayo ka na siya ma-adapt na siya sa katao. So like Koreans, they can adapt their values and their cultures or the way how they dance and the way how they perform na mga uban maka sweet side na yung atuwa sa sweet sa uban na ma-share pa lagi na muna siya global village usually karon mga student o mga tao usually YouTube naman na they usually watch movies, songs, and performances on YouTube or other platforms. So it creates a cultural imperialism. Whereby kana siyang global media na siya kakibat nga maka-adapt ang mga buwan sa lain sa mga country. Kung na culture sa ubang country, ma-adapt na to na sa main direct. Critics of cultural imperialism. According to this, media scholars in the 1980s began to pay attention to the ways in which audience understood and interpreted media message. The field of audience studies emphasized that media consumers are active participants in the meaning-making process. In media studies, a text simply refers to the content of any video. So, ang kanin siya, sa documentary, ang kanin mga media scholars, 1980s, nag-start din sila of paying attention sa how the audience understood sa mga media message. Kaya usually, kita, different country, we have different dialect or how we spoke, so we have also different language. So, yeah. So, for example, for this is like, kung movie is created in America and it will kung i-air na siya sa Korea, usually wala dyan kayo viewers na kaya wala siya yung mga subtitles, whereby kung nasa siya yung mga subtitles para siya interpret na siya maayo or na yung mga may mga uban karon kaya mga dub na wala siya gikuan dire na emphasize can create audience where mga audience become active participant and daghang mananaw na kung sila sa makasabot sila. So here Lin Ang in 1985 is an Indonesian cultural critic studies the way in which different viewers in the Netherlands experience watching the American soap opera Dallas. So kani siya yan yung studyhan kung yung sa pag nung sa mga viewers dito sa Netherlands makita nila soap opera sa American soap opera ng Dallas. Kani siya ng Netherlands, if I am not wrong, this they were speaking in Dutch. Like sample na ang ilang no thank you is the biatch. I don't think so if I'm right. So
Nee, bedankt.
lahi sila ka ng mga kuan istoryaan. So kung kana siya gamitan na siya ka ng kuan kana mga subtitles na makasabot sa sila according sa ilang kuan kanang how they understood na. So it can create viewers attention also dahil sa muna naman ng salida. Elihu Katz and Tamar Levis decided to push Ang's analysis to further by examining how viewers from distinct cultural communities interpreted Dallas. So kani silang duha, si Elihu Katz and Tamar Levis, sila or ilang innovate or i-push nila ang Ang's na analysis. Kung giunsa ni Ang's mag-examine sa mga viewers, yung sa pag-adapt kung anong ang kanang Dallas dito, ang movie is patupay na siya dito. Dahang mga viewers na niya dito mananaw kay also di ko sa kapataka sa loob ka ng year of mga movies kung ang usa ka community kung example kanang usa ka country kung conservative kay na sila sa kanang mga kanang like showing kayo ng mga sexy na mga movies dili kay na sila kuan na kanang or dili kayo gana mga tawa na nga country dili sila nimo i-consider nga air na siya movie within in that area kay wala sa mananawag sa movie na kay kanang area is very conservative which is very important also that also represent sa nimo kung kana sa siya nga movie nimo understand ba sila sa movie kay mo i-air dito dapat na kay analysis kung saan ang mga viewers ana pipita usually they want movies like so we are not only talking for that movies is also one of its example na siya. So the cultural imperialism thesis has been light with by the renewed trend of regional trends and globalization process. So na siya, Asian culture, for example, has proliferated worldwide through the globalization of media. Example na ni ang Japanese mga brands like example kanang Hello Kitty to Mario Brothers to Pokemon are now an indelible part of global popular culture. So mo ni siya kato siya mo diyan kaniya tong Hello Kitty tong Brothers Mario also Pokemon then also ang kanang mga telenovelas sa state na kanina mga telenovelas mga songs is spread siya sa can create the cultural imperialism. That's how the critics of cultural imperialism work.
죽을만큼이 힘들었어. 나 진짜.
Ang atong timanan nila is siya ang sabotahan nga critic sa cultural imperialism is ilang kritik kung usay mas better para sa viewing experience sa mga viewers na makasabot sa sila sa ana nga kuan kanang geared sa area. So we are now here social media and the creation of cyber ghettos. So when we say cyber, it refers to the internet or cyberspace, where ghettos is wala na siya kato siya mga marginalized mga individual. So by now, very few media scholars argue that the world is becoming culturally homogeneous. So for me, bisag na-adjoy global media, ito may tabo siguro nga na magkapareha kita mga kultura yun. Pwede maka-adapt sa lain ng mga values or culture sa ubang country, pero ang ato adjong culture mapabilin sa ato adjong. So ang uban sa ilahan sa ito sila, pero kaya mapuno sila kung kaya na may global media. So it will never be happening to be a heterogeneous or homogeneous rather. So apart from the nature of the diverse audiences and regional trends in cultural production, the internet and social media are proving that the globalization of culture and ideas can move in a different direction. So karon sa una kung ang usually gamit is television or mga traditional media, karon na tayo gitawag og internet and social media. Kani siya murag kani siya murag pili innovation na siya, which is usually nga nini mura na itong ipagamit karon ang internet and social media. Dapat mag-uban ang internet and social media because without internet there would be no social media. Social media will not function without internet. So Western culture remains powerful and media production is still controlled by a handful of powerful Western corporations. So mo ni siya ang internet. Particularly, the social media is challenging previous ideas about media and globalization. All new media, social media are forms of communication. So new media and social media so, that have a democratized access, like Facebook. Facebook karon na may mga pwede na tayo makatanog ng news. News ya na tanan pwede na tayo communicate sa lain ana. But the problem is how we can identify the fact and how we use on it in the right way. Because kaya sila nga mga like Facebook or Twitter have enabled users to be consumers and producers of information simultaneously. Pwede kami mong consumers, pwede kami mong producers, whereby we have a freedom to post and also comment, and also to interact with others. Pwede ka maka-write private articles or mga stories, pwede ka mag-post sa diya, pwede ka mag-post sa mga gusto nimo because you have a freedom on it. Unless you will not cross the line. Okay, every platform they have a rules and regulations on it. When you sign up on every platform, you will need to check the sign on every button on it or to verify that you agree with its rules and regulations. That's and then in the United States, voters of the Democratic Party largely read liberal websites, and voters of the Republican Party largely read conservative websites. So, ang Democratic Party, ang ilang ikuan dyan is ang liberal websites, and also Republican is also they read the conservative sites. So this segmentation notes an article in the journal Science has been exacerbated by the nature of social media feeds, which leads users to read articles, emails, and videos and share by like-minded friends. So kung ikaw usually pinaka mga memes or mga videos, you can find on it in every feeds, social media feeds nimo. So karon usually ang itap sa to karon is country na to Philippines. Next year hapit naman dyan ang election job voting for us. Lahat na dyan mga lain mga parties, partido, lansar. Kasi makita nga sa social media na to mga propaganda sa akin nga kasirain na sila sa isig sa nila na isikat ba. So that's one of the challenges that are facing today because some usually mga bagong mga users karon they intend to read some of it. Kaya sila basag mga tanong mga salita ng mga hinimo sa mga irresponsible ng mga users lang na utosan ng uban, they spread the wrong the wrong information to others. However, social media also have their dark side. In the early 2000s, commentators began referring to the emergence of display internet and the phenomenon of cyber balkanization to refer to various bubbles people face themselves when they are online. So when we are online, usually people like us, we have different perspectives in what we want. So medyo tayo ganahan sila mag-online kay gusto silang mag-tanaw ka ng misa na ibang tanaw online kay ganahan sila itong mga politics ng mga post ng mga online na ganahan sila mag-updated. This segmentation has been used by people in power who are aware that the social media bubbles can produce a herd mentality. It can be exploited by politicians with less than democratic intentions and demagogos wanting to whip up popular anger. The same expensiveness that allows social media to be a democratic force likewise make it cheap tools for government propaganda. So marami kong giyon kaniha nga ang sa jud sa naka dark side jud ana nga social media yun is we have freedom. People have freedom. Usually, for example na jud ana is mga black propaganda. They intend to sirain ang duha ka mga partido inana. Dayon usa na siya sa biggest challenge sa our the social media na atong giatuman karon. So as the preceding case show, fake information can spread easily on social media since they have a few content filters. Because as you had noticed, social media is we have a freedom to write information or to generate posts in our different account, newspaper or mga kuan. Better pa siya kasi sa kuan platforms because kani ko siyang social media when we search or example TV5 din ang uban na makita nga mga page gani nga fake page na mga post itong kuan mga wrong information to sa sila dayon dapat as users like us we have to know also how to figure out what's are the fact and so you know how to research also. Okay, usually kung naman na yung mga ibang add ng mga features ang mga different platforms like Facebook, they use a check badge, like mga blue nga badge, mga pages. It has check badge. It is a legit na siya. Okay, kana siya give filters na siya says as consumers of media users must retain vigilant and learn how to distinguish fact from falsehood in global media landscape. So muna kung yun yung kanina. A newspaper story that is written by a professional journalist and written by a professional editors is still likely to be more credible than a viral video produced by someone in his or her bedroom, even if both will have their biases. People must be able to tell the differences. Usually kita, ulang kita, or if we have knowledge on it, we can educate others. Also, di na to na sila, mga ubayan na diligent maka-identify sa value. And usually, in a good way lang kay usually karon ang lain naman jud ang attitude sa uban.